If you stick around on this channel today, you will find out a little bit more information perhaps about the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you so much for joining us on the PATRIOT podcast. My name is Dell. To discuss all of these, I have two wonderful guests that will be joining me on the program. We have here seated Mr. Elidad Onyanwa. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And we also have the founder of Hepzibah Mommies Initiative, Violet Olalekan Alabi. Glad to have you on the program.
Glad to have you too.
And today the focus for us is Sustainable Development Goals. We're going to be looking at the successes, challenges, and the future plans. So, Mr. Elidad, if we're talking about the SDGs, what are we referring to?
Yeah, like we all know, Sustainable Development Goal was kicked off in 2015 as a universal call to action to be achieved in 2030. And we know the 17 of them affects human life, everyday life. Okay, so say again.
Yeah, so we just wanted to know what the SDGs are in general. It's been running for a while, but it looks like somehow there are people that might not be sure of what it is exactly and what the aims are, which you have mentioned a little bit, that affects our lives. So how does the SDGs affect Nigerians? Let me narrow it down to Nigeria now. How does it affect the normal person, family, home?
Normally, it's supposed to be a program for everybody, for every human, whether rich or poor. But basically, it's for the poor society. So, for now, we believe one of the problems we've been facing as an NGO is implementation problems, okay, which also affects finance. You know what it is. So we won't say it has been a great program since it began. So but now we are here to achieve it in 2030, but we still need more to be done.
So let's look at the journey of the SDGs since 2015, and now we're in 2023. 2030 is almost here. What would you rate the successes, looking at how it benefits, like he said, the poor? What would you rate it as?
Well, if I have to rate it, I think I'll have to rate it 70-30.
Okay.
Yes, because especially how it affects Africa and Asia, you find out that one of the key focus on the SDGs is hunger and poverty. But as we progress through the years, you find out that hunger and poverty is increasing, especially in Africa. And I'll speak more of Africa because this is where I'm domiciled. Yeah, you understand. So it's increasing, and now in 2023, we have more people that are hungry because of the fuel subsidy, the increments of fuel prices, dollar rate, high cost of living.
That's the Nigeria factor.
Yes.
Yes, like I said, let's narrow it down to Nigeria and see how they...
Yes, high cost of living and inflation worldwide.
Yeah.
But you agree with me that even when the removal of the fuel subsidy happened, some African countries were affected.
Yeah.
Of course, West Africa basically.
Yeah. So it's sort of what affects Nigeria, which is a giant of Africa, somehow affects these other countries. Now, as NGOs, as organizations, do you decide this is an area of the SDGs we want to focus on? We know there are 17, like you mentioned.
Okay.
This is our area of it, and we try to just make a change there.
Yeah, like she rightly said, NGO is focused on ending poverty and hunger. That's and having a peaceful society at the end of the 2030. When we started, NGO want to have a focus, you want to have a project that you're pushing, but we realize in the course of, as we're going, you realize you can't just end hunger and leave education to itself.
That's right.
Okay, so Nation First Foundation, basically the vision of Nation First Foundation is to improve the living standard of everybody. Okay, mostly I would say it was a wrong word when I say the poor. They are the most in need people. Okay, because we are all in need. So it's we realize that attending to those that are most in need, you might go to feed an uneducated people, and communication will become a barrier.
Yeah.
And you might want to feed an hungry person, and somebody who's sick can't go to school. Somebody who have not eaten can't go to school. So we realized that you can't handle this and allow the other. So what we did, what we are doing as an organization is try to see how we can bring the social change totally to our society and to our most in need people.
So it means that it's tough to just pick a particular need out
Very
of the
tough.
17 to say this is what we're focusing on.
Well, I would say for every NGO, you have your focus.
Yeah.
You understand? And most times you don't want to deviate from your focus, but somehow you can intermarry, like he said. If you are focusing on poverty, kicking out poverty, or kicking out hunger and ending poverty, someone that is hungry would not want to think about education. You now look at how do we marry this? How do we harness all this together?
Yeah.
So you like my NGO. Well, we're focused on single moms, giving them a safe haven.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, because we realize that in our society does not support single mothers. There are no provision for single mothers. There's this stigmatization that goes once you are heard that you're a single mom. Oh, like this person was loose and all that, forgetting that some of them were abused out of rape, molestation and all that. So we realize that you cannot, after giving them food, what next? So we structured like a conference for them where they come to speak about their stories, because the first thing you have to heal before you can heal others. And then we've also took it to the streets. Most of them have children that cannot go to school. So they are on the street walking. So we incorporated, or we came up with the program Streets to Class. So we pick them up from the streets and take them to school.
Wow.
We did it at a community by after Apple Waro, and we were able to take about 50 children to school. Though we partnered with an NGO in its image, and that NGO is giving them free education, but we just provided them school supplies and uniforms. So you cannot talk about hunger, poverty without intermarrying education with it. So you have to find a way to also match some of them. There are some NGOs that are also focused on climate change. There are some that are focused on health. You understand? And then even if you are doing something on poverty, you can also switch over to health. Yes, because he said, someone that is sick will not be able to eat. Someone that is sick will not be able to go to school. So if you're focusing on hunger, kicking out of hunger, and the person is sick, you could also just think about, the value chain of this is my focus. What other value chain can I bring into my own focus that can intermarry what we're doing? So
I like that you're saying this in the sense that there are a whole lot of people that want to support an NGO, and then, maybe they're supporting because of single moms, then they see you share food and they're like, but that was not what you said. But with what both of you are saying, it means that sometimes you look at the need of the person
Oh, yes.
as well.
Yes, sure.
Every December, sorry
Yes,
to cut
yes,
you,
go ahead.
we have a program because what the vision is about single moms. But somehow, like I said, as you progress, especially when you go to God, for everything you do, you always go back to the drawing board. I'm successful here, so what next? And it speaks, do this. So for every December, we'll have a project we call Project 1000. The minimum people budget is to feed 1,000 persons in rural communities. It will interest you to know that in Abuja there are rural communities.
That's right.
Like we went to be on Airport Road, no water, no markets.
Wow.
Terrible community, yes, inside this Abuja. It's really far. And when we got there, we met over 2,500 persons. And we fed, we also gave food items like raw food materials, clothing, and empowered about few widows with grinding machines, yes. So there's nothing wrong if you deviate, because this is one of the most important goals of the SDG. Poverty. In fact, I think poverty is number one, if I'm right, then hunger number two. So that's to let you know that it's a serious issue.
So let's hear from you for Nation First, where sometimes you mentioned one of the basic challenges, even when we're not talking about challenges, which is finance. And so how have you been running as Nation First to be able to achieve these SDG goals that you're focused on?
Okay, Nation First Foundation, was set up out of that fervent desire to ameliorate the suffering of our people. So we have been sourcing internally, to see how we solve some problems that we know we don't have to go international to solve. And on the other hand, as an existing organization in Nigeria, you must be registered with the federal government. Maybe like we now,
Excuse me.
we started with education, formal and informal education. When we started, it was looking like, okay, education is the all in all. But you found out that some people you want to give formal education, they need that more of informal than the formal. So that's when we now started bringing in skill acquisition and all of that to cushion that area. Okay, so on that part, we at a point we went out. Sometimes you might be doing an educational package. You go to the community to carry out a need assessment, and you find out that's one problem NGOs are having in Nigeria. We just think we'll gather money, call our friends to bring money, and we'll cook food. It does not end there.
Yeah.
We stopped it. If you remember last year, November, we got into a partnership with AMAC.
Okay.
We flagged off a blueprint for the delivery of social corporate responsibility in actual. Okay, because we realize people just go out there, maybe they have access to some funds somewhere.
Yeah.
They just put up proposals, they get those funds, you go and feed, and that's it. That can't be it. Okay, even these people, at a point we started giving out like sewing machines and all of that. But we later found out when we go for monitoring and evaluation, you now realize that these people have sold all these things to eat.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if you get it. So you cannot give what people don't need to them.
That's right.
And that is one big mistake we have been making. We don't do need assessment. We don't go out for need assessment. You don't align with the community head to know what they really want in those communities. So as NGOs, we are not doing it out of love. That's my own view. We just do it because we feel NGO. You can just come into NGO.
It's not emotions.
And not emotion. They are not emotional about it. So we just feel like I just go into NGO. We just tell stories. People emotional stories. People will just give us money. No, that's not what we are here for. We are here for like the goal is called sustainable. We are in partnership with Ministry of Humanitarian. What's it called? Ministry of Humanitarian and this new ministry that just kicked off in Paris regime. We're in partnership with Refugee Commission, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, and we are signing our MOU with the Nigeria as a government through the Ministry of Budget and Finance. Okay. While we're doing all this, we want to have a total control of what is going on in the NGO sector. NGO is an industry, as it is. We call it humanitarian industry. We have something coming up very big. We want to unify the industry.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we want to. Nation First is working on something very big to unify this industry.
Yeah.
To see that we are doing it right. 2 days ago or something, I had some meetings with some of our rep members. We are planning a lot. We have a lot of things we want to shoot. It will not be. We won't continue this same old way that have not given us results. Sustainable development goal set up in 2015 to be achieved in 2030. What do we have to show for it?
Now, talking about the issue of partnerships, and I'm glad that you have, if you ask me, you're doing something right, and that's the reason why you even have the attention of these government agencies in the first place. How do we get it wrong sometimes as NGOs, where NGOs will go to offices, you see them with files like applicants, and they don't get the attention of government, or they don't get partnerships? Where are they getting it wrong?
Well, I would say for that, I really don't have a clear answer for that, because I've not partnered with the government in whatever, but I know I partner with private,
with other organizations. Yes.
I just put up a letter, make a presentation, and then, one thing I always say, giving is a gift.
Yeah.
If you don't have it as a gift, be it an organization, be it an individual, you would not see a need for it. You understand?
Sure.
We've partnered with Cadbury, Golden Penny, Fan Milk, I think those
It
are
means there's something you're both doing
you
right.
know, so we
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
just
saying. But
put
then-
in
yeah.
our letters and we do a proper follow-up, you understand, and then they see a need for it, and because they understand that the streets, there's hunger in the streets, and they support us. I think the last program we did, Cadbury came all the way with their van and everything.
Wow.
They were on site,
Mhm.
yes. So I don't know about, I've never partnered with any government, and that's one of the challenges, or you understand, we're having as NGOs, because like he said, most of those fundings that my NGO has gotten is individuals, personal funds, friends and family, none from grants, none from the government and all that. I'm like, okay, I have this zeal, I have this passion, I have this dream for the government to pass a bill for single mothers.
Mm.
And that's the step. I'm working on it, because if you look at the developers, they have structures for single mothers. They have low income housing, they have I think monthly stipends they give to them to cater for what they call it, groceries and take care of their child. But we don't have that here. And you find out that a man abuses a woman, and the woman is meant to leave the house when the man stays. So those are things. I don't know how much it will fly, but that's one thing I really want to partner with the government. So if I have an inroad, I would really want the bill to be passed so that we can have a balance in the society.
So what would we look at when we talk about challenges, of having, like you mentioned, it's supposed to be sustainable, whatever we're doing, when it comes to poverty, alleviation and all of that. What are we supposed to, or what are some of those challenges that we're not having it sustainable in the first place?
Like I rightly said, the number one thing
Nonsense.
is need assessment.
Need assessment.
It's very important.
Mm.
You don't just take what you want to the people. The people tells you what they want, and you sort for it for them.
Yeah.
That is when it can be sustained. Okay, like there's a project we did in the West with our partners in Germany through Rotary Club. Now that project is a water project. You know how it is when we got to those communities, some boreholes were approved and we started installing for them to use for free. So something happened when we went back to evaluate. We realized and found out that most of those borehole engines were already bad. Those sumos, I mean, what they call those balls, like
Okay.
sumo. Those tops were already bad. And it was not up to 6 months that they were installed. So I told my partner, I said, see,
They don't need it.
no, not that they need water in that community, but the right channel was not followed. How? We what would have done was to hand it over to
The chief.
the
or something.
not just to the chief, because sometimes the chief might just start monetizing it and make it
Yeah.
his own business.
Yeah, which I'm even going to call
And you
There's a
understand?
lot of challenges
That's what they
with
do.
that. Yeah.
Even the food we take to them.
Yeah.
If you take bags of rice, they have leaders of those camps.
Very
They have
correct.
leaders of
Yeah.
all those places.
That's true.
You even when you give them in those small bags, they will still collect everything from them.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yes.
one of them
It's a
told
lot
me,
of
they
challenge.
called me, I had to share my number with them. I said, tell me what's happening in your place.
Yes.
Let's know what is happening. We need to know from the ordinary person, not the stakeholders
Yes.
that will just say in their interest, okay? So now you tell us what is going on. And you hear these people say, Oga, sorry, and they call you to tell you, say, that's the food we don't bring.
Oh,
we
dear.
not chop
Oh
am.
my goodness.
These are
Yeah,
the things
that's
you
true.
hear.
Wow.
So what we started doing, we intend opening, even having some site offices in those places. You understand? Some small, maybe makeshift places that you have 1 or 2 people sit there, attend to people when they come, attend to their needs. That is when we can get the right information. Okay, when I talked about the partnership with the federal government,
Yes.
it's still the same thing. It still boils down to the access to funding. You can't access international funding if you don't have an arrangement with the federal government itself. Because it's the government that will introduce you to those NGOs who want to partner with our local content. So those are the reasons why because government must have also government must have also taken note of your activities to see that they can partner with you. You have right integrity. You are not going to put them into trouble and all that before they can now start.
Okay.
But there are areas to look at too.
You wanted to say
Yeah.
something about that when he was talking about where you go to communities and then some of these things don't get to the
Yeah,
beneficiaries.
it's a lot. It mentions that, for every time before you embark on a program or a project in a community, especially if you're dealing with a rural community, you don't just go to a community. You have to go through the right channel.
That's
you have
right.
your project director who goes to visit, identify the location, liaise with the community chiefs,
Plan
let
with
them know what's the reason why you're coming. For every time we go to these communities, we tell them we are coming for the women. You understand? We want to empower the women. We tell them, and they learn like, okay, these are their needs. But you now find out that, like the last one we went for, the chief, the grinding machines we gave out was his wife's, his relatives. So people that really needed, because he gave the list of the women that would be empowered. So the people that really needed those things, they didn't have access to it.
Wow.
So there's a lot of sabotage. There are communities also that do not want development. No matter what you do, they will stop it.
No, sorry. Some of those people, they already have a mindset about NGOs.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's another issue.
Yes, one thing happened one time. They almost fought us in one of those places we went to,
Okay.
and I had to diplomatically calm them down.
Yeah.
We bring in our street mind when it comes to, because them come, all of us now one. Wait be the problem.
Yes.
They say, you people will go and collect money, and you come out. But we are on air. We've not collected money from anybody to do any of these things
Yeah.
before. Some of these things are even some.
I think sometimes the experience they've had with other NGOs.
Yeah, it's experience, but you should not affect your problem with everybody. Right? So,
Yeah.
so sometimes when we go out, like that water project I was telling you about,
Yeah.
that was the major problem that project had. They say these people, they don't go collect money. They've gone collected money. They are coming to. They are not even giving us any money. They are
So
just
it's
there.
money they wanted, not
Yeah.
They
water.
want your money.
That's the mindset he was talking about.
Because I know of an NGO that I worked with, that the person built 205 houses for indigent widows and orphans, clothed them, kitchen, everything
Yes.
furnished. After less than a year, the chairs were not there. They sold these chairs, and so sometimes you wonder
There was
what you
this-
should deal with.
There was
exactly.
this woman we gave shelter funds. I would have shown you. She was living in an uncompleted building in Gwarimpa. We found her. She explained to us she's a widow, and she was living in a very deplorable state. And we raised funds, gave this woman this money to go get a place. You
No,
understand?
you
Yes, that was the. We were just starting then, so
Yeah.
everyone, you learn from experiences.
Mistakes,
Gave her.
yeah.
She came to the office. We presented the money to her, like, oh, she's found the place and all that. But out of my busy schedule, I couldn't even go. Do you know? I followed up as monitoring and evaluation, trying to evaluate. Okay, where's the place and all that. And she said to me that she used the money to get a shop. That she wants to, because we empowered her also. She sells small chops and all the snacks. So she makes puff, meat pies and all that. Though we even gave her money, we provided her the materials, the things, and yet she still used the money we gave her for housing. So she used it to get in the shop, and that was the end.
Now, do we take our time as NGOs to do some kind of awareness to the people? Do we do that?
Yeah, it depends on the program you're putting out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Depends on the program you're putting out. But most importantly, since it's alms giving, they are the one to tell you what they need.
Okay.
I so much believe in that. That is when you can go back and see those things still exist. That is, if you want to run a durable package, like with the Refugee Commission, we are now working out to see how we can put up a durable roadmap. Not just for now the commissioner will be leaving soon. So when she leaves, maybe the other person comes and want to do a different thing. These are also problems we face in all these areas.
That's the
When
sustainability.
No
yeah.
sustainability,
Yeah.
no accountability in some of these things we are doing. And so those things are also big problems. So some of them, like the discussion I'm having with the woman now, we said, okay, let's see what are those programs. So we are working now to see what we can draw out to have durable support, durable solutions, not just come today. We've been doing that for 8 years now, and they still call me. There's a program we now air online. It's called Good Afternoon with Nation First Foundation. Now, we set up that program to hear from the people directly. Okay, so they come online, we discuss what the problem everybody's going through in their area now. So what do you people think you need there now? Okay, very soon we'll be giving empowerment when we are done with what we are our discussions with some partners. Right, we'll be bringing some kind of durable. It should be durable because even look at you and I today. See what Nigeria is going through. Tomorrow you buy for 10 naira, next tomorrow 300 naira. All right.
Yeah.
The other day dollar is 5,000. The other day is. So we now, instead of putting all our energy on the problem, we are now we are now seeking for solutions. We need people to be able to maneuver themselves because Nigeria is a self-sustained state, whether I would like it or not. So it's high time that we just have to start thinking inward and see what solutions we can provide to the society now. So these are the things we are looking at for. We are not leaving it to the government. The government cannot even do anything. They can't even, if they could, they would have done everything by now. So now, we the NGOs, we are, what do they call us? Sorry, I'm a social entrepreneur, so my own mindset is just about working with the environment, working with what you have around. That is what we want to teach the people. We have a lot to. After I told my friends, one of your staff know me, but maybe they didn't know me very well. At a point, I had to wash car in Abuja here.
Wow.
Yes, I had a car wash where I was washing car myself.
Now, let me cut you there. Who drives the SDGs? Is it the government or the NGOs? Who set it up in the first place? And then are they the ones that are running this, or it's left for every organization to run it?
The SDG is not set up by the federal government of Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a global.
Yes.
Okay, so now the government is there to handle I think it's the policies around it. So nobody just come and you start doing your thing anyhow you like it. That's why we have 17 of them.
Yes.
Like she rightly said, every NGO you go there to look at, okay, what can I do? But we've gone around, we've looked at it. You see like goal 8. I so much believe in those goals. And we are over those hunger, poverty, those things are things everybody should be able to pursue for themselves. Hunger, poverty.
Well, as it is now, it looks like
it's still a problem. It's still a problem in our society.
Yes.
But if we also
work and economic growth.
Yes, if we look into like the goal 8 and 9, promote sustained, inclusive, sustainable economic growth, full of productive employment and decent work for all.
If we can handle that, it will make it easy for the hunger and.
Yes, it will make it's for sustainable and decent employment.
Yeah.
If you have a decent employment, hunger won't be your problem.
I agree with you. I agree.
You understand? Yes. And it should not be for only those who went to school. That is why we also have in Goal 10, where they have innovations and industrializations.
Yeah.
All right. Goal 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Industry.
So you understand? These are the areas Nigeria should be looking at now. Even where they talked about the energy and all of that, affordable and clean energy, Goal 7. These are areas. These are things that we are lacking. We are to focus on things that we are lacking as a nation.
Word.
They are all captured in the goal. So we should stop all this going to look for things that are not missing. We are looking for things that are not missing. That's why we are in the same position for years now. We have been stagnated. It's very, very important to know as a country, as a citizen of a country, and if we must be patriotic, we should start telling ourselves the truth about the country.
Yeah.
So we can prefer lasting solutions. If we are able to achieve my own very, very key, if we are able to achieve this Goal 7, 6, Goal 7, 8, 9, that concerns affordable clean energy, innovation, what's it called, the other one?
Infrastructure and economic growth.
There will not be any of those other problems.
Yeah.
This is really
the
powerful
economic
what you're
growth
saying.
is very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
You understand?
If you check the economy, it's not growing.
So would you say that for an NGO, maybe for Hepzibah Momi's initiative or for Nation First, it is possible to, just tweak your aims a little bit
Yeah, sure.
to fit into what we need now?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
what we're
sure.
doing already.
Sure, especially this goal
That's what we're
8,
doing
decent work and
Yeah.
economic growth.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time in FZBA Moms, I think, through a partner that runs what they call a human resource
Center, yeah.
and it needed. I made a proposal that I had my women, young single mothers who were not working. How can you help? And then I think an organization had a space or a need. You talked about need, you know, it's a case by case basis. Had a need for people for marketing, for different functions, and it gave us a slot. So I put it up. If you go to my Instagram page, it's there. I put it up. If you job opportunities, job offer, and that's what we're talking. Decent work. This is the work that it's an office 9 to 5.
To put food on their table.
Yes, put food
they
on
can
their
access
table.
healthcare.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can access education.
You understand? So if we have people,
Yeah.
everything, it doesn't have to be money. If you can partner with people that can add value in terms of
Value, I like
work,
that, yeah.
do you understand? In terms of, okay, when you say economic growth, if you empower a woman now, like we talked about the sewing machine, someone that is educated would always think that, okay, Nation First has empowered me, or FZP has empowered me with sewing machine. What should I do? It's not, the first thing is not to go and sell because you're hungry. But if he or she is educated, the first thing is to put that machine to work, and the machine will start giving you returns, daily returns. And with that daily returns, you'll be able to feed yourself.
Okay.
You're able
That's
to
right.
to
Yes.
what they call this end hunger.
The other ones will go. Sorry.
No, it's
Sorry
fine.
to cut you.
No,
Like
it's
I'm from the Niger Delta.
Okay,
I'm from
okay.
Delta State, right? Where we've had a case of amnesty and all of those stuff. They sent them to train. They empowered them with a lot of money. But go there now and see what's going on.
Sadly.
Mindset.
Sadly, yeah.
Go there now and see what's happening. Now, so what we thought of as an organization, as an innovative organization, because we don't just want to be like everybody. It's just too much. Everybody just coming to do. You understand? So what we are doing now, like the sewing things, that there's something that my team came up with. We came up with something to do at the marketplaces. I told them, I said, let's go around the Abuja market. This is an idea. I think anybody can start working it out, because there's something we are also lacking in Nigeria. Everybody's hiding their idea. Make these people know, yeah, let them
Yes.
let them not steal my
Yeah.
idea. You cannot steal somebody's idea.
Yeah.
Okay, now we came up with something. We said, let's go to the marketplace. Let's meet with community head. What do you people need in this place? And they told us a lot of their women are not working, and the farm work they are used to, the herdsmen are not allowing them to go to the farm again. Blah blah blah. This that. I said, okay, but they don't come to the marketplace. They say, that's okay. See what we will do now. Do they have water in that market? They say no. Is there toilet? They say no. We were also going to create an avenue for social, social empowerment package for some people, not just their own people, but also people to oversee the place. Everybody will be getting their small stipends that will help everybody keep living and
Yeah.
keep going. So it's still ongoing. We're meant to provide water, then have like a yard, like an office yard in that market area,
Wow.
which they already
Interesting.
Yes, the plan was to have. The plan is, it's not was, we are still on it.
Yeah.
The plan is to have a toilet, a public toilet there. You have a borehole where you can supply. Then have grinding area around
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're not going to buy machine and be giving to anybody again.
Yes.
We just buy all our machines. We have our yard. So if you want to work, you know what it is already. It's on percentage basis.
Oh.
So you have to
Yeah.
put everybody on their toe. Let us work.
This is interesting.
Yes, we have to do. What NGOs have been lacking in Nigeria is this cluster pattern of work. We have not been doing it. We are all working towards achieving the 17 goals in 2030, not promoting your personal organization by 2030. If we are able to deliver these 17 goals, even deliver one actually in Nigeria, we will celebrate ourselves in the humanitarian industry.
So you've mentioned one, which is this plan that you have. So what we're wrapping up. We're already time up. But then for Nation First Foundation now, what should we look forward to seeing?
forward to see what you've not seen before.
I like that you talk a lot about being
Yeah.
innovative, and
Yeah.
I think that's a big word for me today.
Yeah, you must look out for things that you have not seen before, things that eyes have not seen. Those are things we are set to do because we want the organization to outlive us.
Yeah, sustainable.
Yes.
That's
Everything we are
amazing,
doing,
yeah.
we should. If I go to Delta State now, I
Yeah.
could just decide, okay, make I enter Okada today.
Yeah.
And if I take Okada, I'm always glad to hear people shout "Nation First" when I pass. Yes, because maybe
Yeah.
I don't even know them facially,
Yeah.
and they don't know me, but we must have impacted
Yes,
in their life.
that's
in one
what
way or
the
the other.
impact.
That's right.
Yes.
So for you, maybe because, forgive me, the gender thing when you mention mommies and all of that. So
Okay.
my heart just melts for it. So
No.
what's the next thing for you?
Yeah, I have a plan. It was beautiful what he said about the market community.
That's right.
I want to get to a point whereby we don't have to depend on anyone for funds. And how? This woman, bring them, empower them in a way, not you're giving them cash. Nuts is a very good product, health-wise, and it's also good for women. So I had this plan to start harvesting nuts
Wow.
of different granules, cashew nuts. Get those women, get a farm. They will be the ones to do the planting, harvesting, and then
Wow.
repackage it
For
and
processing.
put it for processing and put it on the streets
Awesome.
and put it. And Epsiba mom is this. If you buy one nut, you are saving. You understand? So
yes.
the women are now paid. Just like he said, immediately said, I smiled on commission. So if the nuts, put them in a sizable container for pack that you can put in a lunch. The
Give
idea
them
is
to
like
sell.
a lunch bag. Give them to sell. So if you sell this nuts 100 naira, what's your gain on it? Maybe the 15 naira. 15 naira goes back to the NGO.
The NGO.
So we are building funds. So for the next project, we don't have to start
So it's
writing.
sustainable.
Yes, it's
Okay,
sustainable.
So what she's talking about now
Yes.
is what we also call in like I said, I'm a social entrepreneur. So what she said is the key now. What we are driving at, social enterprise.
That's right.
Okay, social enterprise is going to be the end of every work of humanitarian
Yeah.
industry to attain that sustainable level that we are all aiming at.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Like, this is the much we'll be able to take. And I'm so glad that we had these conversations. And I feel like there is an NGO that's watching right now that I've learned a whole lot from this program. And you make your projects to be sustainable. So we're so glad to have Elidad Onyawa of the Nation First Foundation. And we wish you all the best. We look forward to saying that every part of Nigeria, not just in Delta, where we see
No,
we'll say,
not just in
we'll
Delta.
say Nation First.
Not just in
Yeah,
Delta. I'm
yes.
always about
It's
Delta.
name,
Yeah, because
because
it's that,
it's
of
from
course,
Delta
I
State.
understand.
Most of our projects are even in the north.
We look forward to
Like the
hearing more of
partnership
that.
with the government we have
Yeah.
now is with AMAC. AMAC is the number one
Yes,
local government
in
in,
Abuja.
Yes.
in Nigeria. Sir.
Yes.
So we are also going to be partnering with her because our
I'm
project,
glad. Oh, goodness, this is good.
Thank you.
The area she is covering,
Yes.
our organization is covering, is very key.
Awesome.
But we must be very, very careful.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about, initially, let me tell you some, sorry.
Okay,
to
can you
just
do a
to-
minute? Can you do
Yeah,
a minute
very,
on that?
very
Yeah.
brief.
Go ahead.
When we started, the ideal idea was about children born out of wedlock. But we see it was not looking like we're encouraging girls to go and bring children and then. So there should be a place to cut that cord
Yeah.
of going to bring children
That's
because
right.
there is
No,
an
So you have
that's
to
where the
change
data
that.
comes in from
Yeah.
because we interview them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're a single mom. Where's your husband? There's
So I'm sure when you do that partnership, you'll be able
Yes.
to sort all of
Yes.
that out
Yes.
so that we don't keep the
Continue
viewer.
with that.
And thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Violet Olalekan Alabi, the founder of Hepzibah Mommies
Yeah,
Initiative.
thank you for
And
having
thank
me.
you for watching the Patriot podcast. Please share this video and make sure you like it until we come your way again with another edition of the program. My name is Belle. Enjoy your day.